When you first meet a girl, she's going to be in a number of different situations. The first situation you might find her in is walking away from you. So for example, you're walking towards the girl, and she's walking in the same direction as you. First things first, you've got to catch up with her. If you walk at the same speed as her, you will never get to her. You need to walk faster than her. What I like to do is speed up my walking pace until I'm walking at a much faster pace than her, and then I walk in front of her. The easiest way to get talking to a girl is to approach from the front. If you sneak up to a girl and you tap her on the shoulder from behind, remember, she's in her own world. She doesn't know what's going on. You just touched her. I guarantee you she's going to think that you're a mugger, and she's going to freak out. You want to stop that situation from happening? You walk well in front of her and let her see you. Let her see you for a period of time. Let her see you for 10, 15, 20 seconds. Once she sees you, then it is acceptable for you to turn around and open her. My personal favourite thing I like to do is to look like I'm looking for something. Why? Because I'm on a mission. So I'm on my mission, maybe I'm looking for my coffee shop, I don't know where it is. So I walk in front of the girl, she's behind me, I'm like, hey, I'm sorry to bother you. I go over my shoulder and I talk to her. Now I'm looking face to face, I've approached her from the front, and bam, I can use my opening line. The second situation, she's walking towards me. I've got the girl coming towards me as I walk this way. You need about 12 foot in between you and the girl when you first talk to her. Because you're both walking. And just like a car, there's a stopping distance. If you want to make sure that you stop with enough time to have a conversation with her, 12 feet is the distance. It's about the height of two people lying down. You move in front of her, you open your hands in a nice open gesture, and then you start talking while stopping. Having your hands nice and open stops them from going around you. It also prevents a stop in motion, which most people react to, and it gives them time to slow down. By the time they slow down, you should be in a decent communicative distance from each other. What if she's in a group? What if you're trying to stop a group of 5 girls? You do exactly the same thing as the other 2, except you talk to the whole group at once. So instead of excuse me, missus, and talking to her, you're like, hey guys, you talk to the whole group. What if she's waiting? You've got a girl in a situation, she's waiting for somebody, she's leaning up, sitting against the wall or what have you. All you do is move side by side. Side by side to the girl, look like you're waiting to get into a conversation. Sitting alone. You'll go in a coffee shop or in a restaurant, she's sitting down alone. You want to join her? You need to be sitting at that table fast. What I normally do is I go up and start talking, and then during the opening line, I sit down. So for example, hey, I'm sorry to bother you, it's just that I'm looking for somewhere to go that isn't a regular Starbucks, and I want to go to a different type of coffee place. Could you suggest somewhere around the area? So in the middle of the line, I sit. That way, the sitting is masked by the line itself. And they're so busy being caught up in the conversation, they don't notice me sitting. Sitting in a group, same thing, except you address everybody. Very good. Okay, on the phone or with headphones. On the phone, I usually suggest you don't do it. They're in another conversation and it's a little bit rude. If you do want to do it, however, the easiest way to do it is to pretend you haven't actually seen her on the phone. So what I like to do is I look in the other direction, I go, excuse me, I'm sorry to bother you, oh, you're on the phone. And they're on the phone, they'll be like, yeah. And you go, I'm really sorry, and then repeat the question. Just, I'm looking for a coffee shop around here that isn't a Starbucks. Wait. 1 minute, I'll call you back. So what do you want? And that's how you make it work. It's really annoying though, and they won't really like it. So I typically say don't do it. You are opening with a negative situation. Headphones is different. No one really cares when they're listening to music, they don't mind stopping it. So with headphones, what I normally do is you go up to someone and ask them a question, then I notice the headphones, I go, and I ask them to take the headphones out. They take the headphones out, and they go, hey, I just want to ask you something. And then you get into the conversation. At work or a hired gun. Now, we're going to talk about this a lot more in depth. We've got a whole section on it tomorrow. But in essence, one of the key things is when you're talking to a girl who works in a shop, you must not talk to her about work. So if your mission is to go out and find something for Mother's Day, or your mission is to go out and buy a present for somebody, you ask anyone but someone that works there. The minute you ask someone that works there, they're going to go into shopping mode, and they're going to turn into work mode, and they're not going to think of you as a normal human being. You're a customer. It needs to be about anything other than work. You talk to people in a shop, if they're working in a shop, they need to be thinking about things outside the shop. They need to be thinking about hobbies and other careers. So your mission has to change. It's something to be very aware of. One of my favourites is to mention how I've got time to kill. So I'm not in the shop looking for anything, but I'm just killing time. My friends are still looking for something and I'm not anymore. So I'm just wasting time. So my mission is I'm wasting time. And now that's something I can respond to her with. One of the easiest ways to build rapport with somebody you meet in a shop is boredom. Almost anyone that works in a shop is bored. Retail is a very boring job. I did it for a very long time. If you're working in retail, you're bored. If you explain that you're bored and you're killing time, you have instant rapport. You can both merge on that point. Almost always. Not always, but almost always. If they have a pet or a baby, this is killer. Talk to the pet or the baby, not them. As long as you are talking to their pet, they cannot leave. It's rude. Oh my God, you are the cutest little puppy. So cute. You might. No, you start, oh, it's so gorgeous. Then you can have a conversation with a girl. And if she's like, oh, I've got to go, you go, oh, but he's so gorgeous, I can't. So a few more minutes, we just have to keep talking. Right, you can keep the pet there, okay? The longer you're talking to the pet, the longer they have to stay there. So just keep making sure you interact with the pet and them and you'll be fine. What do you talk about? You identify commonalities. The more things you have in common with somebody, the more likely you are for the conversation to continue. We're going to do an entire section on this in a second, so I'm not going to do it now. Alex is actually going to be taking you guys through it. But, in short, think of it this way. The best conversations you've ever had with anybody were probably people that you had something in common with. If you and them both care about the same things, then you can talk about it forever. The fact that you're in this room, you've probably got something in common with everybody else because you're all here learning how to pick up chairs. So you guys, I bet that 90% of your conversations this weekend will be about that subject. Why? Because it's something you're all interested in. Anytime you have commonality with somebody, it's very easy to keep that conversation going. The minute you guys talk about different things, for example, one of you is a vegetarian and one of you isn't a vegetarian, that can become a very difficult conversation because you can't really relate to each other. Talk about picking up chicks, you can bond again. One of the easiest ways to continue a conversation is to respond to any sentence she makes with a statement of your own. One of the biggest mistakes that guys make when they're talking to girls is they'll be like, oh, so where are you from? And the girl's like, I'm from Paris. Oh, wow, what are you doing here? It's a massive mistake. They didn't respond with a statement, they responded with a question. Guys do this all the time. What that means is you've just told the girl you do not care that she's from Paris. You just want to know what she's doing in your hometown. Don't make that mistake. Respond. If you say to somebody, where are you from? She says, I'm from Paris. You go, oh my gosh, Paris is a beautiful place. I actually travel there a lot. I love the place. Wow, you know what? I haven't been to Paris for a very long time, but the last time I was there, I love the French food. You have an entire conversation about Paris. Then you can ask her questions about Paris. Then, by the time you've exhausted the entire Paris conversation, and she's told you about where she lives and her favourite things about Paris, then you can be, so why did you leave? Your conversation will last about 10 times longer, you'll learn a lot more about the girl, it'll be even easier to make commonalities, and more importantly, she will think you care about what she says. Again, Alex is going to cover that in the next section, so I'm not going to go